welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are still returning, so keep watching my videos. Thank you and thank you and thank you. Today's video is going to be a video on my pregnancy glow tips and tricks. You guys are always commenting and complimenting, oh my god, your glow, this pregnancy glow. Well, today I have decided to let you guys in on the makeup tips and tricks that I have been using throughout my pregnancy to glow to the heavens. You know, of course, some of this glow is definitely natural. Obviously, I'm letting you in on the makeup aspect of it. And again, many of these tips and tricks are tips and tricks that you must have already come across at some point. But then again, these are the ones that I have been using to, you know, keep my makeup game on point throughout this pregnancy. So if you want to know all of the tips and tricks on how I achieve this glow, stay tuned and don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
So
obviously, talking about pregnancy glow, you should know that the skin is the focus, not the eyes, not the lips. The skin is always the focus when it comes to glowing from within. Priming with my Milani Prime Shield Primer. This is a very, very good primer. It's a silicone based primer and it is not drying at all. So this also helps really, really well in, you know, bringing out that glow from within. Next up, for foundation, I found myself letting go of, or rather keeping all my matte foundations to rest, especially during this extremely dry season. I noticed that using matte foundations tend to make my face look cakey really quickly, so I have literally just dumped my matte foundations for now, and I have focused on using more soft matte and luminous foundations. And I have been using basically a combination of my Revlon ColorStay foundation and my Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. These two together is amazing. Also, with this pregnancy, I have lost about 2 shades of my complexion, especially during this stage. So I tend to mix my foundation with something a bit darker. The Revlon ColorStay is my usual color, like my usual tone, my usual shade, and the Milani foundation is darker than my usual shade. So I tend to mix this two together to get my actual shade right now, which has been working so well for me. Also, what I do is to mix a bit of illuminator in my foundation, just a little tiny bit, and I'm using this one from Flawless by Mimi. This is the Flawless by Mimi illuminator in the shade LH03. I mix just a little bit with my foundations and I see that it just makes my skin glow. Also, I apply my foundation with a brush, with a kabuki brush. You can use any kabuki brush that you have. I apply with a kabuki brush, but I make sure that after applying with a brush, I go in with a beauty blender or a beauty sponge just to further blend it out and make it look very skin-like and very well blended. So yeah, I make sure I always go in with a sponge. Now for concealer, I'm using these 2 concealers from Zaron, the medium and the light. I like to use the medium because it tones down the light. These days, I have not been going for super highlighted looks. I have just been going for a mixture of a medium or something very close to my skin tone mixed with something light. So I'm using these 2 from Zaron, and I spray my face after applying that concealer on my skin. Just before I blend it out, I go in with a setting spray and I spray my face. I find out that this helps a lot with blending out the concealer, especially if the concealer is a quick drying one. It just blends it out flawlessly, guys, absolutely flawlessly. I also make sure to use the same sponge that I used to blend out my foundation to blend out my concealer. You guys must know this trick already. It just helps with blending out the concealer flawlessly and without leaving harsh marks. It just blends beautifully into the skin. Next, I also use the same blender to set my concealer. I go in with a setting powder. This one is an all-time favorite, my Sacha Buttercup powder. I go in with this powder and I use this to set my concealer with that same sponge. Pay attention to the fact that I do not bake. I just go in and set with that same damp sponge, and that's basically it, guys. That is it. Afterwards, I go in with a translucent powder. I have been doing this recently and I have been liking the way it looks. This one is from Zaron and I use this to, you know, set my face all over and dust off any excess powder from the setting powder, if at all. If at all I have any setting powder left on my face, I use the translucent one to dust it off, and it just gives my face a very nice even finish. Still on skin guys, I go ahead and contour. I'm using the Zikel Face Definer as a contour today, and I just really like the fact that it's not overly pigmented and it's very buildable. So I use the contour powder in the middle, and then I contour the sides of my cheeks, also my jawline, and not forgetting my nose, because these days my nose is getting bigger, so contouring my nose is a must. I always contour my nose these days. Next up, I go in with my highlighter first. Yes, highlighter before blush. I've been doing this recently and I have been absolutely loving the way it looks. So I'm going in with the Maybelline MasterChrome highlight in the shade Molten Gold. I've been going for more golden highlights than champagne highlights these days. I just really love how golden highlights look on my skin. So amazing. So I go in with this highlight everywhere I want to highlight and pop, and then go in with blush. I have been tilting more towards very pink blushes these days. I go in with my blush after highlight, and that just helps to like really make sure that the highlighter is not just sitting on my skin. It just blends into the highlight and makes it look absolutely flawless. At this point, I usually would spray my face again before going into the eyes. And usually for eyes these days, I don't do much. I don't play with so much color like I used to. I just go for something very neutral. This is the iCandy Cosmetics Bare Essentials palette. I've had this for quite a while, but I see myself always reaching for it because it has just 10 colors, but it has like 10 amazing neutral colors. I go in with a soft brown shade in my crease. I make sure to build that up, and then sometimes I leave my eyes like that, or on a day like this I will just go into that golden, that really deep golden shimmery shade, and just use my finger and apply that on my lids. Basically that is it. I go in with a blending brush, blend the two colors together, and that's it. Like, that is it. So as usual, I do all the remaining things: line the eyes, use gel liner to apply my wing, apply mascara, and then I pop on lashes. These lashes I have been using, these ones are the G800 lashes from Yummy Mom Life's makeup page. Is it Makeup Heaven Nigeria, or I think it's Makeup Heaven Nigeria? I'll leave the name down below. But yeah, I got these lashes from her a while ago and I have been rocking them. I love the style. I love that they are very flirty, and even when I have minimal eyeshadow work done on my eyes, these lashes just takes the look from 0 to 100 real quick. So yeah, I pop on these lashes and it just totally transforms my eyes. Once I am done, I go back in with that soft brown shade, apply it on my lower lash line, apply a bit of a champagne shimmery shade to my inner corners, and the eyes are done, guys. The eyes are literally done. I can do these eyes in literally less than 5 minutes. For my lips also, I have been tilting a lot more towards neutral nude lips. So I'm going in with this brown lip liner from Zaron, my absolute favorite brown liner in the entire world. This is in the shade Cappucino. I love this liner. I applied this, you know, round my lips. I have been loving this nude pout stain from Zaron. This is from their XoXo line. This one is in the shade QueenBee. I apply this in the center of my lips, smack my lips together, use my fingers, blend it out, and it looks absolutely amazing. But to finish it all off, I then go in with a gloss, and this gloss is from Elf Cosmetics. Not sure of the name, but I will leave the name in the description bar below. I just go in with more setting spray, spray that face, because setting spray just makes that face to just glow. As you can tell, I use like 2 different setting sprays. I used my LA Girl setting spray and I used my Badescu setting spray, and they just work so well together. Like during the same makeup application, it just looks really nice. And yeah, guys, basically that is basically it. That is basically how I have been achieving this pregnancy glow, okay, with makeup, aside the natural one with makeup. Been curious to know how I have been glowing? These are my tips and my tricks, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Like I said, even if you're not pregnant, these tips and tricks basically can work for you. A lot of people use the same tips every day to apply their makeup, so I'm not the first person, but this is what I have been doing. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Do make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you comment down below what you think, or what other makeup tips have you been doing to make sure that you are glowing from within. Make sure that you are so subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel, and make sure that you share this video with as many people as you possibly can. And yeah, follow me on Instagram as well. I am at the Style Cheapskate on Instagram. That is where I post my everyday life, basically. See you guys in my next video, God willing, very soon. See ya. Bye.